just kind of in the world at large. We are experiencing many obstacles to intimacy, and some of these in various forms have been around forever, for the history of humanity. Others are particular to our day in history, this moment of the human story. And we could spend the entire webinar on this. And in fact, I think I'm going to probably do a webinar soon on the topic of loneliness. But loneliness is something that's really significant in our society today. In fact, the Surgeon General of the United States recently published a study declaring loneliness like an epidemic in our society today. A lot of this, it's not all about technology. I don't want to blame it all on technology, because it's certainly way more complicated than that. And yet the role of technology does play a part in this. And because digital relationships, you can see there on the slide, I've got that in quotes, relationships, change the psychological experience of connection. And we're not even yet sure of all the ways in which this is happening. I think this is really interesting. Social media browsing correlates with lower levels of loneliness, whereas social media posting is associated with higher levels of loneliness. So you've got two ends of an extreme in terms of social media use. Now, I'm not talking about non-use. That's a different scale. But if you use social media, think about it. On one end, you've got the people who all they're doing is watching. Hardly ever post anything. They're watching though, right? They check their feeds, they read the comments on other people's stuff, right? But they're not doing a lot of offering, right? And then on the other end, you've got people who post and post and post and don't do nearly as much observing of the other folks. And then there's certainly folks who are in the middle and more evenly split. And what research is showing is that if you are just consuming, you're not putting out there, you're not posting, you're just browsing and consuming the posts of others, you report lower levels of loneliness. However, if you do a lot of posting, you report higher levels of loneliness. Why is this? Well, we don't know for sure, but my theory that I subscribe to is that the people who are browsing feel distraction from loneliness, and that's like treating the symptom. The consumption of other people's stuff, looking at their pictures, reading their posts, all of that, treats the symptom of the loneliness. Does it actually treat the root? That is yet to be determined, and as far as hard evidence goes, but I don't think so. I think they're treating the symptom of the loneliness. Now, on the other side, the people who are posting a lot and reporting higher levels of loneliness, posting more correlates with comparison. So I post something and I'm tracking who's liking it, who's viewing this story but not liking it, who's commenting on this story, and I'm contrasting that. Well, but so-and-so saw my story, but they didn't like it or comment on it, but I see that they liked this story over here from someone else, or they commented on this over here from my other friend or my sister or whoever it is, right? And so there's this comparison that is happening, and that comparison is driving up the levels of loneliness. Everyone know what FOMO is? Fear of missing out. Draws individuals to increased social media use, costing their attention to present real-life relational opportunities. And so people fear missing out on what's going on social media. And so they're engaging more, they're drawn into it more, but at the cost of what's actually happening right in front of them, or at least opportunities for what could be happening right in front of them. All of this leads to obstacles to intimacy. So those are more broad cultural things to be put with the specific barriers that are more related to addiction and betrayal.